Our next gentleman is Mr. Glen Sapp.
Thank you very much. Appreciate the opportunity to be here tonight. It's a pleasure for for me to be here and be in front of this distinguished group. I am Glen Sapp. I am a candidate for sheriff of Charlotte County. I grew up in up north also, but that would be North Florida, unlike some of my cohorts here. Native Floridian. We're sort of a dying breed or endangered species, if you will, but a few of us in here. I bring to this race, I think, several things that I believe is important for the citizens of Charlotte County. I think it's time that we get back to a standard, and that standard is serve and protect. We have long gotten away from that. We used to have that written on the patrol cars. You saw a patrol car, you saw it said serve and protect. When we had that concept going on, we had a much better approach to the law enforcement issues that were of concerns in the community. We had the idea that we could really go forward and actually communicate and work with the public, and that was an important factor. I've talked to many people since I've been conducting this campaign, and a lot of folks have a real sense of almost fear for some of the interactions they're having with members of the Sheriff's Department. And it's only because the standards are being set. We've got quotas out there that are required to be met, and that's not what law enforcement should be all about for a Sheriff's Department. We should be there to help you, answer your calls, be respectful when we get there. I had one lady tell me, said that she had called for the Sheriff's Department. They came to her house, they got out of the car, they said, let's get this over with. I got called out for dinner. Not a good approach for trying to build community rapport. Now, is that every member of the Sheriff's Department? Absolutely not, guys. We got some great people working out there. But we seem to have went into a productivity model where we're trying to just produce a lot of numbers, and we get an award for having written a lot of citations to who? Members of the community. Those tickets aren't cheap anymore if you've had one. A couple of $100, some of them, maybe even more, for violating some very minor traffic infractions. So I'm suggesting to you that we take things like the traffic unit that they have, we disband that, and we take those people and we put them out into the communities where they can stop those burglaries, where they can have an impact on those home invasions and things like that. A redistribution of the manpower, which would allow you to feel safer in your homes and at your places of business. The budget, $57 million. $57 million. One of the commissioners has been quoted as saying that 76 cents of every tax dollar is turned into the county commissioners goes towards law enforcement. That's too much money. We need to reevaluate that. My whole plan is to come in with a comprehensive activity-based budget where we will look and analyze every program. We will analyze every position at the Sheriff's Office. We will analyze all the equipment. Do we need it all? There's going to be certain segments of the Sheriff's Department that we obviously cannot do without. We don't want to do anything that's going to diminish the law enforcement services that we're going to be providing. But at the same time, we should be counted on to be efficient and effective and professional. And that's what I believe that we want to see in our Charlotte County Sheriff's Department. As sheriff, that's the standard that I would set. We would get away from the productivity model. We would get into what we call, or I call, serve and protect. Because we need to be respectful of the people who we work for, and that is the members of the community. You are the stakeholders in the Charlotte County Sheriff's Department. As such, you should have a say in how that Sheriff's Department can be more effective and for you, the citizens of the community. Also, at the same time, I want to set up a community budget advisory board. And set that up simply because I would like to have the commissioners appoint one person each to this advisory board. I, as sheriff, when elected, would appoint people to that advisory board, and we could have input from the citizens of the community about the budget and where they felt like those expenditures need to be made, because it's important in this day and time with the economic impact that we've all had and all experienced. I'm sure everybody in this room has probably been impacted with economics since we've had this small recession going on, as they call it. And so it's incumbent upon the Sheriff's Department, the management there, to do what? Reduce the budgets where they can. And that's what I would be trying to do. We're spending over almost $2 million for health care for the inmates at the Charlotte County Jail. Anybody in this room have that kind of access to health care? Probably not. So I'm suggesting we take that, we reanalyze it. Is that the sheriff's fault? Probably not. But it's got to that point where it's easy to just say, hey, we already got a contract in place, just add another 2 or 3% to that, and it'll go to some corporation outside of the state. But I'm submitting to you that under my program of comprehensive activity-based budgeting, that we would tear that almost $2 million budget apart, applying to health care, see if we can't get those services provided locally, with local health care physicians, with local health care folks, and reduce that. If we reduce that by $1 million, that's saving taxpayers' dollars. So that in itself would be a big plus. We have heard about the administrative staff at the Charlotte County Sheriff's Department. That accounts the top 11 positions, excluding the sheriff, whose salary is set by the state. That accounts for $993,000 just for the top 11 positions at the Charlotte County Sheriff's Department. That's not counting any benefits or anything like that. I submit to you, that's probably real high. And under my program that I would institute when going in, we would analyze that and say, do we need all those administrative positions? What exactly do they do? Some of them you will need. You can't get rid of all of them. We need that chain of command. We need those commanders. But do we need every one of them? And I submit to you that we probably do not. We have just let that go. The current budget means that you, as a taxpayer, pay $343 per person for the law enforcement that we have in Charlotte County. That's high. We need to look at ways that we can lower that without diminishing anything that deals with the deputy on the road. And we do that by reallocating those resources. We have DUI checkpoints. Guys, a lot of money spent there, a lot of waste, wasted time, wasted effort. We throw out a net, and stop maybe 15 or 25 or 30 good law-abiding citizens to catch what? 1 or 2 that we should be getting by the regular guy out in his beat working on patrol. He should be looking out for the DUIs. He should also be looking out for the aggressive drivers. We take care of those situations like that. And let those deputies be community policing officers. Not just that 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 are assigned to a particular unit, but we make everybody responsible for that. So that when you have dealings with the Charlotte County Sheriff's Department, you feel like that you have been respected, that they're there to serve you, and that they're also there to protect you. My background includes having been a sheriff, former sheriff of Charlotte County. I've been a chief of police, been chairman of the Criminal Justice Department. My education includes having a master's degree in criminal justice, and I've worked all of my dissertation on a doctorate degree in public administration. I have 30 plus years in law enforcement. I've worked overseas, most recently Pakistan, where I served for almost 3 years, working as a senior police advisor over there. I have some brochures on the back table. You're more than welcome to please take one of those and look at that and just compare my qualifications with some of the other candidates that are running. I would like to say that my slogan is experience leadership from the heart. If we get the Charlotte County Sheriff's Department and we get the public working together again as a team, then we can do what? We can certainly have an impact on the crime that's occurring within our specific areas. And that's what we're looking to do. And I would like to say that I would appreciate your vote and support on August the 14th as Sheriff of Charlotte County. Thank you very much.